Okay, so here's some tips, if you will, reality recognition tips. Develop listening awareness, or even think of them as absorption skills. Don't make snap judgments. Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink, was about the power of intuitive thinking, which is true, but the flip side of that book, and most people forget, is that it can trip you up. You also have to use your analytical skills to test what you've just gotten intuitively. Resist categorization. This is the root of so many evil isms, racism, sexism, etc. So when you see someone, they're dressed a certain way, or they're a certain age, they whatever, and you start putting them into categories, it's very natural. It's the human psyche trying to make sense out of too much data. Assess like a pollster. There's a pollster in this room, and he knows very well that you don't pay attention much to a reaction until it reaches a certain what's the word? Tipping point, or you don't pay attention unless you hear it over and over again. The old joke is if someone calls you an ass, you can brush it off. If a second person calls you an ass, you better stop and think about it. And guess what? If a third person calls you an ass, you are an ass. Argue using data, don't argue with the data. That's from Andy Grove. Trust your own analysis. Always do your own analysis. That's one of Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger's great lessons about investing. You're going to hear all sorts of analysis from Wall Street. They have their own motivations. If you can't do your own, find someone who will. Seek reality checks constantly from those you admire. And this is a big one. This is proof is in the proceeds, not the pudding or the tasting of the pudding. The proof of your perception of reality and how good you are at it is going to come out in the success of your life. How well you're doing in your work, how well you're doing in your relationships, how well are you doing, how happy are you? Are you achieving your goals? If you're not, there very well could be something wrong with the way you see the world. This is what Dr. Phil in his show, the summation question after the person explains how awful their family situation is, but this is the way they handle it, and he looks at them and goes, so how's that working for you? For videotape and more of the great leaders cited in the speech, go to successtelevision.biz.